And we got knocked out. We was best man.
Yeah. No, it's.
I'm not saying it's something that we could have done, but it's a fact.
Yeah.
Because we didn't have it better everything.
No, it's interesting to see like how much they have. Like, it makes you like, that kind of people, and it was.
Now, did West Plains, they have a restaurant and that kind of stuff there? And, we looked at,
At Cape Bend restaurant, yeah.
yeah. You know, usually they have pretty good.
Yeah.
Cuba, school have.
Ours is like this.
Runway was?
Yeah. We still get like,
It is hard. It is.
but like,
And that can accommodate small.
not like the big ones.
Private.
They set up the chairs.
I want to call this meeting to order and ask everyone to please rise for the pledge of allegiance and prayers. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
If you lead us in prayer, please. Let's pray. Dear Heavenly Father, thank you for this day and thank you for this community. Pray that you guide and direct us in everything that we say and that we do as we conduct city business today. Thank you for all that you do for us. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen. Amen. Next item up is roll call. I am present. Alderman Williams.
Present.
Alderman Bolerjack.
Present.
Alderman Whalen.
Present.
Alderwoman Cisco.
Present.
City Administrator Burbridge.
Present.
Assistant City Clerk Sewer.
Present.
City Attorney Weber.
Present.
Chief of Police Chase.
Present.
Finance Director Stacy Houston.
Present.
And I see that we have our Public Works Director, Mr. Steve Payne. And we also have Brent Dunn from the Street Department. Do we have any other city staff here? All right.
Present.
Thank you, Josh. Next item up is the approval of tonight's agenda.
I move to approve the agenda. Second.
I will call for the vote. Alderman Bolerjack.
Yes.
Alderman Williams.
Yes.
Alderman Whalen.
Yes.
And Alderwoman Cisco.
Yes.
Next item up is the consent agenda.
I move to approve the consent agenda.
I'll second.
I will call for the vote. Alderman Williams.
Yes.
Alderwoman Cisco.
Yes.
Alderman Whalen.
Yes.
And Alderman Bolerjack.
Yes.
Thank you. Next item up is the canvassing for the certification of the election results held for April 2nd, 2024.
The resolution 09214, a resolution declaring the results of the municipal election held on April 2, 2024. Be it resolved by the Board of Aldermen of the City of Salem, Missouri as follows. The city clerk has presented the Board of Aldermen with the voting results of the municipal election held April 2, 2024, as certified by the Dade County Election Authority for the offices of Mayor. Alderman for the West Ward of the city serves a 2-year term. Alderman from the East Ward of the city serves a 2-year term. The Board of Aldermen, having canvassed the return of the municipal election held on April 2, 2024, declares the results of said election as follows. Mayor, a 2-year term, Greg Parker, 441 votes. Lisa Elliott, 72 votes. Grover Mike Whitley, 97 votes. And Eddie Fleetwood, 182 votes. West Ward Alderman, a 2-year term, Catherine Dent, 209 votes. Richard LaBrash, 196 votes. Write-ins, 12 votes. East Ward Alderman, a 2-year term, James Vance, 115 votes. Kayla Cisco, 252 votes. Write-ins, 2 votes. The resolution shall be in full force and effect from and after the date of its passage and approval.
What was the resolution number?
9-20.
9-2024.
Just noted a typo in section 1 with the year, but I noticed when you read it, you said 2024. Correction there.
It says what, I'm sorry?
2023, but
Oh.
when you
Yeah,
read it,
just-
you said correct.
20.
Well,
24,
Tim
yeah.
did correct it and we reprinted it, so,
Oh.
sorry.
That's all right.
I would move to approve resolution number 9-2024, with that correction.
Second.
Any other discussion? And call for the vote. Alderman Boyd,
Yes.
Alderman Williams,
Yes.
Alderman Whalen,
Yes.
and Alderwoman Cisco.
Yes.
Next up would be the oath of office.
I'd like to do these one at a time, if that's okay. Mayor, would you be first, please? Oh, yikes, yep.
Councilman Beardsley.
Oops, sorry. Raise your right hand and repeat after me, please. I, Greg Parker,
I, Greg Parker,
do solemnly swear that I possess all of the qualifications for mayor of the city of Salem
do solemnly swear that I possess all the qualifications for mayor of the city of Salem
as prescribed by law,
as prescribed by law,
that I will support the Constitution of the United States and of the state of Missouri,
that I will support the Constitution of the United States and the state of Missouri,
the provisions of all the laws of the state affecting cities of this class and the ordinances of the city of Salem, Missouri,
provisions of all laws of this state affecting the cities of this class and the ordinances of the city of Salem, Missouri,
and faithfully demean myself in office, so help me God.
and faithfully demean myself in office, so help me God. Thank you.
Thank you. Taylor, we'll do it really fast. Yeah, you're good.
At least I'm not feeling older, so it's better.
I, Kayla Cisco,
I, Kayla Cisco,
do solemnly swear that I possess all of the qualifications for East Ward Alderman as prescribed by law,
do solemnly swear that I possess all qualifications for Eastward Alderman as prescribed by law,
that I will support the Constitution of the United States and of the state of Missouri,
that I will support the Constitution of the United States and the state of Missouri,
the provisions of all laws of this state affecting cities of this class and ordinances of the city of Salem, Missouri,
the provisions of all laws of the state affecting cities of this class and the ordinances of the city of Salem, Missouri,
and faithfully demean myself in office, so help me God.
and faithfully demean myself in office, so help me God.
Catherine, if you'll come forward, please. Raise your right hand. Thank you. I, Catherine Dent,
I, Catherine Dent,
do solemnly swear that I possess all of the qualifications for West Ward Alderman
do solemnly swear that I possess all the qualifications for West Ward Alderman
as prescribed by law,
as prescribed by law,
that I will support the Constitution of the United States and of the state of Missouri,
that I will support the Constitution of the United States and of the state of Missouri,
the provisions of all laws of this state affecting cities of this class and the ordinances of the city of Salem, Missouri,
the provisions of all laws of this state affecting cities of this class and the ordinances of the city of Salem, Missouri,
and faithfully demean myself in office, so help me God.
and faithfully demean myself in office, so help me God.
All right, buddy.
I left you a seat back
Yeah. I left you some papers.
And before I continue, tonight, there's one special person that I'd like to thank tonight, and that would be my lovely wife. Putting her in the hot seat. She supports me on my good days, she supports me on my bad days, and she supported me long enough to stay in office, so thank you, dear, I love you. Next item up is gonna be the reorganization of the Board of Aldermen. Before we start tonight, I will need a candidate to be board president, to serve as board president.
I would move to, have Sean continue as board president.
Anyone else? All right. Take a vote.
Sure.
I will call for the vote. Alderman Whalen,
Yes.
Alderwoman Dent,
Yes.
Alderwoman Cisco,
Yes.
and Alderman Bolerjack.
I'll abstain.
All right. Tough choices. All right. So bear with me, cause this is gonna be a long list, ladies and gentlemen. First up is gonna be planning and zoning. Keith Inman, Sherman Odom, Kyle Williams, Dr. Wayne Burtz, Richard LaBrash, and Elizabeth Condrey. Board of Adjustments, Bob Parsons, Ryan Whitaker, Rob Benowitz, Martin Kulik, and Nathan Kinsey. For Park and Recs, Stacy Jones, Crystal Pilkington, Angie Curley, Carlos Lopez, Caleb Shepard, Christy Bermudez, and Luke Heithold. There's no elected officials for this board to serve unless any of you would like to step in.
I would like to start.
Okay. Just sit in and visit their meetings. Next up is the Finance Committee. Alderman Bolerjack to serve as co-chair, Alderwoman Kayla Cisco to continue to chair for that board. David Weiss, Patty McEwen, and Nathan Kinsey. Next up is the Utility Committee. Alderwoman Catherine Dent to serve as chair. Alderman Whalen to serve as co-chair. David Weiss, John Hambacker, Kyle Williams, Trina Pott, and of course, this one's not on here, but Mr. Harold Hamilton. Community involvement. Alderwoman Kayla Cisco to chair, Alderman Whalen to co-chair, Roma Jones, Christy Bermudez, Alina Sellers, Sierra Connell, Carlos Lopez, Patty McEwen, Gary McEwen, Hannah Heithold, Emily Cook, Danielle Kisser, and Brittany Shepard. Next up is the airport. Only need one alderman to serve on the airport board, which will be Alderwoman Kayla Cisco. I have Tyler Naramore, Jim Haven, John Maholka, John Malady, Steve Spencer, and Rich Parks. Capital Improvement. To serve as chairman, Sean Bolerjack. To co-chair will be Kayla Cisco. And the only other member that we have so far serving for that we really need members for will be Annie Desbridge. And that is the end of that list.
I would approve the mayor's appointments to all those committees.
I'll second.
I will call for the vote. Alderman Bolerjack,
Yes.
Alderwoman Cisco,
Yes.
Alderwoman Dent,
Yes.
and Alderman Whalen.
Yes.
Thank you. Moving right along. Next up is gonna be public comment. To remind each speaker that each speaker tonight has 3 minutes. First up will be Miss Alicia Elwood.
Just stand here, is this okay?
That's fine.
I'm just bringing up, again, we had a utility committee meeting, prior to, I think it was in March. It's been brought to my attention that it's going to be looked at again this evening and possibly rejected for the $300, $200 deposit. I would strongly urge our aldermen and alderman women, to reconsider that. It affects a lot of people in this community. Having large deposits, is bad business for real estate and bringing new people into this community. I would recommend that you would take a really good look at, the possibility of causing people to not want to come to this city. As realtor, our job is to make sure that they know the ins and outs of where they're coming to live, and this is gonna be a very negative impact on our community. That's all I wanted to say.
Thank you, ma'am. Next person up to speak will be Miss Beth Frizzell.
My name is Beth Frizzell, and I am the broker at Century 21 here in Salem. There's not a whole lot that I can say that Alicia has not already touched on. I was directly involved in a situation with a prospective buyer. Got very negative feedback standing in the city utility office. So I would just ask that you folks reconsider. And as Alicia had said, we want buyers to come to the area. We want them to be comfortable with them coming to the area. We don't want future buyers to have to pay for previous people's mistakes that they absolutely had nothing to do with. So I would like for that to be taken into consideration. Thank you.
Thank you. Next up, Miss Lisa French.
Sorry, I'm back here in the corner. I am speaking about the 10th Street property that there was some talk about donating it, the city donating it for a low-cost housing development, okay? I did send a packet of letters to 7 people, 4 aldermen, the mayor, city administrator, and the city attorney. I would like to know if each of you have gotten the packet of either 19 or 20 letters sent US mail.
I received more than that, but not just through the mail.
Okay.
Okay. It was proximity.
Yes.
Alderwoman Dent, did
Yes.
you? Okay, Alderman Whalen, did you get that packet?
Right here.
Okay. Cisco and Bolerjack. Okay, so when did you get those? Did you get those today? Did you get notice of those today?
I received notice yesterday and went to the city office and picked it up.
Thank you. Anybody else get notice before yesterday?
Yes.
Can I
had
ask when you got notice that those were at the city office?
Today, ma'am.
Today.
Yes.
Okay.
I've got some
$125
before.
was paid to send 7 packets. Priority, return receipt to Ms. Dent, Mr. Whalen, Mr. Parker, Ms. Cisco, Mr. Bolerjack, Mr. Weber, and Ms. Burbridge by private citizens. That was to make sure that you got them. Those were accepted and signed for, here's all the verification by the US Postal Service, 10:08 a.m. on Friday. Why didn't anybody get those until today or yesterday? This information, the letters that were written and signed by citizens to voice our opinion should have been gotten to you way before this meeting. Everybody here, except the people who came in later, have copies of these letters. Again, $100 expense, private citizens paying for these copies, because I don't like people sitting here not knowing what we're talking about. If somebody else needs one, Steve, right at the corner, has them, all 7 copies. Okay, this is what we were told at the last Board of Aldermen meeting. This is a quote from the mayor. It's in the letter. You can watch it on video. Tonight, I want to remind everybody that if you ever have any future concerns, that this is what the board has created public comment for, to voice your opinions ahead of time. I also encourage each and every one of you, if you have any other future concerns, reach out to your alderman, reach out to myself, reach out to city staff. That's what we're here for. Tonight, if you have any other concerns, I would ask that you speak with us after the meeting is over with. Not be shouting out so we can have a respectful amount of time to complete our agenda. Respect one another so no one is talking over one another. Like I said, representatives are here. If you do need to reach out to us, we will always be here to listen to you. I didn't hear from one of my aldermen. I asked people, all of you, to let me know if you'd gotten my correspondence, because I sent it by email too. I don't hear from one of my aldermen, maybe 10% of the time. Mr. Bolajak, thank you for answering. I appreciate it. Thank you, Mayor Parker. Thank you, Alderman Whalen. Thank you, Alderwoman Dent. Thank you, Attorney Weber. And thank you, Administrator Burbridge. But I also want to know why at least 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, at least 10 or 12 more letters were dropped in the night depository. We're told ad nauseum, you can drop them in there at the city office, you can drop your payments, you can do all this stuff, it's safe, we'll get it where it needs to go. When did you guys get the additional letters that weren't sent by United States mail? Mayor Parker, when did you get them?
I picked them up today when I stopped by City Hall.
When were you told they were there?
I was not notified. Usually I'm not notified
Oh, you
when I
weren't
have mail.
notified.
No.
Those were dropped off Sunday night. I have a person who dropped them off. Why didn't you guys know about that? What if we dropped off a payment Sunday night? Oh, does it not get looked at and applied to our account until Tuesday? You get my point, I'm being facetious. This is wrong. We don't trust you. That's why $125 was paid to send something to prove that 20 people, their voice would be heard. Proof. I don't have proof of the other ones, but I have people's word here that they dropped them off. I hope, per your statement in this letter and on the video, Mayor Parker, that our voice is heard. If you guys are going into closed session tonight to try to give away this piece of property on 10th, I don't know, because you never tell us what you're doing. Don't do it. That property belongs to us, the citizens of Salem. Just like the old fairgrounds, it doesn't belong to the Parks Department, it belongs to us. Hear our voice, we have spoken. If anybody else wants to sign these letters, you got them. Give them to your representatives. Thank you.
Thank you, Lisa. Next up, Mr. Steve Everard.
As usual, just a couple of questions and a statement. Wondering about, I've been asked by some of the folks in town about the marking of the gas lines. Why are they marking or locating the gas lines in town?
Oh, that'd be a homeowner's request sometimes.
No, the homeowners were asking me why that would be. Does it have anything to do with the lead?
Lead and copper projects.
Is that what it is?
Yes. Our engineering firm's setting it up for the locates so that they can come out and do some trenching. They've gotta find out what percentage of lead and copper we have involved before we can move forward to make things better.
Right, I knew you were doing
Is
that
that the
on
marks that are on
figured
our
that's what it
sidewalks?
It's, yeah, the locates are in a lot of neighborhoods, sidewalks, and, yeah, so,
was. Okay, thank you.
you're welcome.
I was wondering about the 10th Street discussion. When will that be discussed again?
I have no idea,
Is it gonna happen tonight at the closed?
not that I'm aware of, sir.
Okay, well, will you keep us apprised of that? Will we
Yeah.
know when this comes up again? This is a big topic here. And the only statement that I have to make is that if, this attempt, if there is an attempt to, give that property away, it's gonna be met with a legal response. So I hope you guys will take this all into consideration. Thank you.
Thank you, Steve. All right. Well, that ends this session for public comment. Next up is the bids. We have the bid for a 25 horsepower motor from Aeration, or the air, is it an aeration motor? I can't even speak. Aerated motor, aeration motor. Who'd like to present that?
Do you wanna talk about it, Steve, and Josh, do you wanna speak?
I would
about
like
it?
to refer to Josh to speak about it, cause he's our resident sewer plant
All
operator.
right, Josh.
We currently have, our second aerator. Last summer, we had to, have one of the motors rebuilt. This year, we had another one of the motors fail. We sent it off to the shop to get it evaluated. Through their evaluation, they determined that the shaft on the motor was bent, and it's gonna be at a lower cost to purchase a new motor than do a repair. So I've got 3 proposals from 3 different companies on a replacement. This aeration completes our digestion and our sludge before we apply it to the rebeds. So it's a major component in our facility down there. We're currently operating with 1, but my detention time shortens by half without this unit in operation.
Is this one of the floating ones, or is
Yes.
this okay.
Appreciate it.
No problem. Any additional questions?
So there's 3 bids, submitted, and, you guys recommend to go with, JCI?
Yes.
Okay, and it's just because it's the lowest bid?
It's the lowest bid, and that's actually the company I'd submitted to, so I believe with the process, they won't bill us for the evaluation if we purchase through them, but they did propose the lowest cost.
And Josh, do these have the opportunity to come with any kind of warranties?
There's typically a year manufacturer warranty with them. That's kind of standard industry. But the newer motors that, I've experienced with, we're just not getting the 20-year lifespan out of equipment like historically we had received. But this is the second unit. It runs a really long shaft to do the performance in the digester, so I'm not gonna say that there's not a better option on the plate, but per what the engineer installed in the digester, that's kind of what we're stuck with right now currently.
Does this one come with a warranty, a year warranty?
Yes, it will.
It does.
I see we have enough in our budget and our equipment maintenance from the sewer fund to cover this expense. Unless there's any other discussion, I'll go ahead and move to approve the bid from, JCI for the amount of $11,812.
I'll second that.
Ask that question? I'm good. Is there any other discussion? This time I'll call for the vote. Alderman Boyd.
Yes.
Alderwoman Cisco.
Yes.
Alderwoman Dent.
Yes.
And Alderman Whalen.
Yes.
Thank you.
Next up is the welcome home bid rejection.
So this, of course, is part of the Welcome Home Program, where we are, doing rehab of owner-occupied homes. On this one, as you're aware, it's a $5,000 match that the owner fronts. The grant funding for the rehab is $20,000. So that's $2,000 of that is administration costs for the city. So that leaves $23,000 total available for home rehab. Unfortunately, the two bids on this particular home came in at just over $76,000 and just over $64,000, so that's well above. And the options, if they come above the $23,000, is the owner wants to move forward, that extra cost is on them. And of course, these are low income homes, so that's really not feasible, when they come in 2 and 3 times of more than what's available. So the recommendation by the homeowner as well as staff is to reject both bids at this time, and then we will rebid this home.
Yeah.
You're fine.
Need a motion?
This time I'll be looking for a motion.
I make a motion to accept, to reject.
I'll second it.
Is there any further discussion? I'll call for the vote. Alderman Whalen,
Yes.
Alderman Boyd,
Yes.
Alderwoman Cisco,
I'll abstain from voting.
and Alderwoman Dent.
Yes.
Next up is the downtown project bid rejection.
Okay, so this project, due to some miscommunication, just kind of between myself and our engineering firm, did not get advertised as is required for our purchasing policy. So we're backing up, and we are advertising it, as is required. And so that ad started today in the Salem News, and it has to run for a minimum of 21 days. So we'll begin the bid opening on Thursday, May 2nd. So, 21 days will actually be April 30th. But that'll give us time to get it advertised, get the word out correctly. So last meeting, we actually approved the bid from Donald Magai, and then after that, I caught that this hadn't been advertised correctly. So we're backing up and doing it. Okay. So tonight the request is to reject the bid from Donald Magai.
I would move to approve the rejection of the bid from Donald Magai Corporation in the amount of $496. Oh, I'm sorry, $496,692.04.
I'll second that.
Any further discussion? I will call for the vote. Alderwoman Cisco,
Yes.
Alderwoman Dent,
Yes.
Alderman Whalen,
Yes.
and Alderman Boyd.
Yes.
First and second reading is up next to bill number 3608.
Okay, by caption only,
Yes, please.
an ordinance authorizing the issuance of a sewerage system revenue bond, series 2024 of the city of Salem, Missouri, prescribing the form and details of said bond and the covenants and agreements to provide for the payment and security thereof, and authorizing certain actions and documents and prescribing other matters relating thereto. Do I have permission for the second reading?
Yes, please.
By caption.
Yes.
An ordinance authorizing the issuance of a sewerage system revenue bond, series 2024 of the city of Salem, Missouri, prescribing the form and details of said bond and the covenants and agreements to provide for the payment and security thereof, and authorizing certain actions and documents and prescribing other matters relating thereto.
Thank you. This time, do I have a motion for bill number 3608?
Sally, you wanna talk about this, what this would be for, and
Sure, so this is, at times it's been called a temporary bond or an interim bond.
We have the authority for it as granted in the election last year. But what's occurred is we have design work for phase 2A and for 2B, which the bond is to pay for, 2B, happening at the same time. And so without implementing this temporary short-term bond for a portion of that amount, we don't have the funds to pay for that engineering and design work that's happening for 2B. So that they're happening simultaneously because the two phases will work together. So this is the mechanism to pay for that. When the full bond closes late this fall, maybe early next year, we're hearing, December, January potentially, this will simply roll into that full bond and be part of the total financing package. But because the full bond's not ready to close, this is the mechanism to cover those costs, those expenditures that we're incurring now. Nowhere near what the bond authority was, the over 4 million, so 400,000. And then it kind of breaks down here, there will be payments due, you see July 1st, 24, January 1st, July 1st of 25, but we anticipate that the full bond will have gone in place by then, right?
Make a motion to approve.
Second.
I'll second.
Any further discussion? I will call for the vote. Alderman Whalen,
Yes.
Alderwoman Cisco,
Yes.
Alderwoman Dent,
Yes.
and Alderman Boyd.
Yes.
Next up is the second reading for bill number 3604.
Bill 3604, ordinance 3604 by caption, an ordinance amending the amounts of utility deposits for the city of Salem, Missouri.
Page 146.
Unreal.
Yeah.
And just a note, with letter of good standing should be tabbed over the second column.
I know this was first brought up our last meeting, as a discussion, so the first reading, there's no vote taken on it, so that's what the second reading is tonight. So I'm in favor of going to a set deposit rate versus going over an average of the previous 12 months, just because I don't think, there's homeowners, they, have closing costs and a lot of upfront expenses, when they purchase a home, and I would hate to discourage anyone from buying a home in a city just because of a high, utility deposit rate. And I know there's been concerns brought up about, those that, may leave a remaining balance behind, as they leave the city. But that's, why we have an agreement with the collection agency to, collect those remaining funds. So I'm in support, of this here, and I think it's good to note too, that need to be comparable to nearby cities on what their deposit rates are. And, I think what's being proposed here, I think we will be, comparable to what other cities do, especially with, having a letter of good standing as well.
I wanna thank the utility deposit for, listening to me talk about this, and I wanna thank, Ms. Frizzell for reaching out to me about a concern of one of her, tenants, and so I'm also in favor of this, keeping it as a standard deposit. I'm also like that we're also going to reinforce the, good standing letter again. I think it's very high importance for somebody to come in to the city of Salem, you know, to provide a good living with us, but also have come in with a good standing letter to get that discount, for having good behavior with their previous utility company. So, thank you to the utility company for reconsidering this and also, listening to us out.
I appreciate all the real estate agents bringing this to, you know, to our attention because, you know, in my perspective, I'm a homeowner. I was a first-time buyer at one point, and I would prefer to have my utilities turned on because you have all those out-of-pocket, you know, expenses up front. You have all those credit checks, and it's not fair to try to penalize somebody for just trying to buy a home because they're trying to make a life decision, you know, that's permanent for them. But I wanted to thank Jens for bringing that to our attention.
I also want to make a comment, as if this is approved by all of us, there is an individual, I know of at least one, I don't know if there's any more, that did pay way over, the $300 deposit. And so I would like to refund him the rest of his deposit if we would all be in agreement on that. I cannot remember the exact dollar amount, but I want to say it was 600 something, 573. So I would like to, if this is passed, to reimburse him for that.
Why did we change it?
So,
Let me ask you another one first. How much do we have in uncollected utilities right now?
we're at 1.2 million.
1.2 million we haven't collected.
Right.
How much money are we in debt right now?
Over 9 million.
Over 9 million. What's the percentage of collections we get from when we run through collections? What do we expect to get in that 1.2 million we were shorted? That we bought electric, water and sewer and paid for?
I don't have that number off the top of my head.
Would you think it'd be 50%?
That we'll collect on the past due?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, because we have so much that are truly old debt.
I understand everyone's concerns, but I thought we changed this because we were at $1 million and we were stiff. When we're $9 million in debt, I have a hard time, will this rectify what we're being shorted? Or just walk off and lose the deposit?
I mean, I've not done an analysis on this amount. But the previous recommendation to go to the
Average.
And, you know, when, I know Alderman Williams had shared a spreadsheet where he'd done research about what other entities and towns were doing. And some of them were in this range, some of them were double even what the average monthly amount is. And so I don't feel like either one of them is out of line.
Right.
I mean, but my recommendation previously to go to 1 month average, we actually have quite a few folks who come in under 200.
Yeah.
But the other piece to that was proposed at the same time was the soft credit check piece. That if someone showed that they had walked out on a past utility bill with another entity, that they would actually be rated to pay either 1.5 times or twice the amount of that average. And so that was to go with it to help recoup or safeguard against the city having those bad debts.
Can I speak? Because I'm from the utility committee.
Please.
When we were talking about what I was told, the reason why we went to the 12-month average is to recoup some of the funds when people walked out.
Okay, so.
That's why we voted on that.
Okay.
And then we had these two ladies and Kayla came and spoke and talked about what,
Sure, right.
you know, what we were told.
Valid points.
And we all agreed on the committee, hey, you're right, that's not fair.
Okay.
And I agree, I don't think it's fair that we put the burden on new people coming in for the city not going after the people that skip town. Thank you.
Thank you, Trina.
I would say that debt that we have at 1.2 for the utility account, a lot of that's probably related to the pandemic.
I mean, a lot of it is much older debt, yes.
Much older than that.
Well,
Or
no,
part of that.
right,
timeframe.
that is gonna be part of that, yes.
I'm always curious to see what the difference between, what that debt that we have from past utilities, what the difference is between the renters and homeowners. I know you don't have that, I'm just,
And some of that debt, Sally, would that be included, is that all charge-offs like in collections, or would that be some of the payment plans that people are in the progress of paying back as they make their monthly bill?
So there's gonna be a portion of that that has been turned to collections.
Okay.
But when this whole conversation came up, I was sharing that it came to light that the city had not turned over any accounts to collections since 2018.
Okay.
Okay, and so that's why, but at this point, we've not approved a new collections contract. Utility committee has recommended, but we've not approved that new collections contract yet. So, we're waiting for that before we can start submitting.
We're waiting for that new agreement. to come in.
Yes.
Yeah.
is there any other further discussion? All right, do I have a motion to bill number 3604?
I move to approve bill number 3604.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
There's no further discussion, I'll call for the vote. Alderman Boyd.
Yes.
Alderman Cisco.
Yes.
Alderman Whalen.
Nay.
And Alderwoman Dent.
Yes.
Next up is the second reading for bill number 3605.
Ordinance number 3605 by caption.
Yes, please.
An ordinance amending provisions for delivery of utility bills and statements in the codes of the city of Salem, Missouri.
Okay, so this is simply amending of the language in our ordinance so that we can offer the option for customers to receive their bills via email or other electronic means.
I would move to approve bill number 3605.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Any further discussion?
I'm still reading.
Okay.
No, we're good.
I'll call for the vote. Alderwoman Cisco.
Yes.
Alderman Boyd.
Yes.
Alderwoman Dent.
Yes.
And Alderman Whalen.
Yes.
Last but not least, bill number 3606.
Ordinance number 3606 by caption.
Yes, please.
An ordinance approving and authorizing the mayor of the city of Salem, Missouri, on behalf of said city to enter into a power supply and administration agreement among Missouri Joint Municipal Electric Utility Commission, doing business as Missouri Electric Commission, and the city as a member of the Mid-Missouri Municipal Power Energy Pool.
Thank you. This time I'll open it up for discussion.
Just want to make sure I understand the memo that NTUA had sent with this. So talking about the MPEP, the Missouri Municipal Power Pool. It has in the memo that it has the financing for the Dogwood facility would be approximately 1.6 million. Is that referring to building up the reserves that they had talked about with the previous agreement?
No, so the building of the reserves certainly assist in better financing rate. But this is, where did you see the 1.6 million?
It's second paragraph.
Third line.
Right. Okay, estimated the total debt service, and that would be the actual cost to purchase the Dogwood facility, or the MPEP's share of that cost. So,
And we've seen that number previously, for what our percentage would be, because I know they had a breakout for the additional debt,
for the additional.
or the estimated total debt service.
Well, okay, this is not additional, this is the cost savings. The cost, the finance savings, if we implement these changes. That's because, and this was confusing to me as well the first time I read it, okay? But I verified that in an MPEP meeting. Because my first response to the staff from MPUA was, you're gonna have to come explain this, because if this is an extra, this much extra cost, yeah, you're gonna have to come do this. But this is the cost in financing savings if we implement the changes to the contract. So it'll cost us this much less to finance it.
Okay.
The 1.6 is the amount we would be financing. This would be the saved financing costs.
Gotcha. I seen the total down there.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
That's what, maybe I was thinking.
So at some point in time, will this come back to our residents and increases in utilities?
It could, I mean, it could. The intent of purchasing though is so that we have, first of all, we have first right to receive power from that generation facility, which should be reduced cost as compared to having a power purchase agreement where we have no ownership. That means, Salem through MPEP and through MPUA as owners would then have also the ability to help dictate maintenance, management decisions, things of that nature in the facility as an owner. I should say as an owner of shares. So it puts us in a different position for purchasing our power and how much it'll cost us than if we're going out on the market to purchase that in a large block.
A little bit more control down there.
Have they gave any updates about the letter that we sent for, the idea of the solar panels and
Yeah, so the initial grant application was rejected.
Okay.
They have rolled that into another application that has come up, all that same information, and we've not heard back on that one yet.
Okay. I said, I hope see it, build their own, make their own car. For the shop. All right. Well, at this time, is there any further discussion? All right, then I entertain a motion for bill number 3606.
I'll move to approve bill number 3606.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
I will call for the vote. Alderman Boyd.
Yes.
Alderwoman Cisco.
Yes.
Alderman Whalen.
Yes.
And Alderwoman Bennett.
Yes.
Thank you. Next up, will be reports of city officials, boards, and committees. Burbridge, you're up first, ma'am.
No report this evening.
No. I will try to keep mine as short as possible. I want to thank all the folks from the 10th and 11th Street, the east side of town in that corner, for reaching out to me. I received the letters, even the certified mail. I received the emails, but a lot of the folks over there have contacted me. A lot of people have my personal cell phone number, so they reach out to me through either calling me. I want to thank them. I want to thank the people that reached out to me on social media and taking into your consideration. I do get to make a deciding vote. I don't have a general vote if this was to ever recome before the board again. But I wanted to let you know that your message does not fall on deaf ears. Anytime that I've kept an open door policy ever since that I took the mayor office, and it still stays as it is, if you're not reaching out to staff, if you're not reaching out to your representatives, such as your aldermen or alderwomen, I expect that the public would reach out to me. Regardless if you leave me an email, whether you stop by, you wanna make an appointment to talk to me face to face. I might not have all the answers that you're looking for, I might not make everybody happy for, you know, anything that I say or do, but I'm here to serve you. That's my purpose of running for this office, all right? And my entirety of being in public service, I always used to feel like people were never ever heard, and I don't want you to ever feel that with me being as your mayor. Other than that, I have nothing else.
When are you guys gonna make a decision on that lot, whether you're gonna donate or not?
There's no time frame or anything set right at this point.
I thought they needed to know by the beginning of May.
Yeah, well, I haven't heard anything else yet. It's too late for that. That's bad. I'll answer.
Could I ask just a
Yeah, you can.
simple question
Yes,
on
ma'am.
okay. If I understood correctly, the city utility department, whoever has not had a collection agency working for us since 2018, is that correct?
That's what I heard.
So all these people, they've just walked away, okay? We've been talking about this for how many years now, and we still don't, what's the process for getting a collection agency hired to possibly be helping with this? I mean, it isn't gonna change itself.
No, I think it all relies on.
So where does this start? Who, can I start it? And if so, how do I do it? Who do I talk to? What do I need to do to make a recommendation to start getting bids from these collection firms to help us out, to make some repercussions for bad decisions for these people?
So that our new people have to amend.
So our new people, are not
Okay.
having to pay for past
Okay,
mistakes.
so I have put a proposal before the utility committee, they have approved it, and we are making sure that the contract language works, okay, making sure there aren't issues there. And so there is one that will be coming before the board. We've had it before on an agenda and we pulled it because of language concerns, and so it's in process.
So let me ask another question. If Alderman Whalen had known about that, would you have voted different?
No.
Can I say something?
Sure.
Well, the precedent's been set, this meeting and last meeting, that, public comments are gonna be taken. It was in last meeting, it was, this meeting, and you have not adjourned yet. So what I wanna say to you is, nobody can hear you guys. Spend a little bit of money, get some microphones, do whatever you have to do, but you gotta be presentable to the public, and we can't hear you. So, that's my off-the-record comment.
Amen. Thank you. If they would let me have a bullhorn, I get accused of that at home, Ms.
I know
Murray.
they've got microphones that are just freestanding microphones, but we can't hear you. And ADA comes in there, those hard of hearing people.
Huh? All right. Next up is, Steve.
Mayor.
Yes.
May I ask a question, please?
Yes, ma'am. Go ahead.
The majority of these people that haven't paid their electric bills, are those renters or are those homeowners?
We do not know yet. I don't know.
We'd have to do a study.
Thank you.
I think more than likely renters.
We asked that last time at the committee meeting, could we get that information, maybe?
Do you know how much it would cost to do a study on that?
I mean, it's time.
I don't think that do we have enough staff to do that?
I hear you.
I don't-
Well, right now, no. We don't have a billing clerk started
Yeah.
yet, we're still short staffed in the office.
Really?
So, I mean,
Right.
I mean, if you want us to stop doing other things and the next bills don't go out, I mean, no.
There's the answer
I mean,
right
that's
there.
honestly,
Right
that's
there.
wrong. Honestly, if we
Yes,
do
that's
that,
wrong.
we've gotta stop doing something else.
You know, can I speak for a second, Mayor?
Yes.
So the whole crowd's here, you're really interested in what's going on, right? So I just took over my position 2 weeks ago. And I am buried already in things past that a lot of people in this room inherited. There's no head of the snake here. These aren't bad people, they put their pants on just like you do every day, and they go in and do the best they can. I'm here, I wanna do good things for Salem. And you come in here and it feels like we're the bad guys and we're just trying to fix things.
No, we're not.
Oh, excuse me,
But
that's
but
our
there's-
right to come in.
But I'm just saying, there are piles and projects and
I'm sorry,
projects and we're
I'm
trying.
sorry, but that's your problem. That is your problem,
So
it really
we-
is,
We
that is
cannot
your
interrupt
problem.
while they're speaking. You can raise your hand to speak after Mr. Steve is done speaking, but we cannot interrupt each other or not everybody's heard at the same time.
So-
One person can speak at a time, please.
Well, we're starting to get out of hand, so I wanna get back on track, okay? Steve, if you'd like to give your report.
I would. So this week, my first 2 weeks, really happy to be here. Lots to take on. Got great teams, streets, sewer, water, everybody's doing their stuff. Today was a huge day. I'll just jump to today. We had a lot of projects. We took care of some, we had a fire hydrant leak. You got teams working over here did a little bit short crewmen.
Yeah.
Jumping off, taking care of this leak, that leak. We had a fire, had a power line pop off in the industrial park. Crew went over there, showed up on scene, checked it out. But the highlight of the day was, Heather Johnson from the high school had 20 students come over and help out the cemetery department. So Brent, myself, Bobby Jarvis, these 20 kids, fanned out, getting ready for Memorial Day, cleaned up things. It was just a really great day. So far, rewarding, feels good. It's just a lot to do. So, yeah, that's where we're at.
Thank you.
Thanks.
I seen them all our Salem High School students at the
How many,
city park.
Steve, how many students?
Roughly 20.
That's awesome.
Did we send a letter of appreciation?
I'm working on that.
Thank you.
Yeah, they were at the park, they were on Rolla Road, cleaning up the trash.
Awesome.
Yes.
Was it a certain, hour of students that came, or was it just kind of all over?
I want to say it was just an overall group. They had students that went to Montauk State Park. They
Okay.
had just
A work day.
Yes, yeah.
It's some, yeah, they do it annually.
Perfect. I think they helped at the park spread mulch also maybe. Awesome, that's great.
Can I add to your list?
Yes.
This is a complaint from West Ward about the grass that's growing, in front of a house. And it is the house that is across from the Bert's McCoy building, on MacArthur.
Okay.
And they would like to see that mowed down.
Okay. I've got a street guy that can help us out. So.
You're gonna need a baler or a lawnmower, yeah.
Maybe, I know.
Someone might do it for nothing, short as hay is.
Can I say one last thing? Just a
Yeah.
praise thing? I was at the, utility committee meeting and I brought up the deal about I had a tree. Joe Chase met me that next morning in the pouring down rain and looked at the tree, and within 2 days, the tree was gone.
Yes.
So, Joe, thank you for what you did during your time. I very, very much appreciated it. And thank you for letting me bring that up at that meeting.
And we're trying to get Joe to rub off on Steve.
Exactly.
Big shoes.
Yeah, if it hasn't been said, Joe stepped up big time for us in the magazine and did. I've been impressed with his management skills. And, thank you, Joe.
Next up is Alderwoman Cisco's report.
I just wanna thank everybody who took the time out to go vote. I think it was a very large, percentage that went voted, larger than normal this time of the year. If there's not something big going on, not a lot of people get out and vote, but this year there was quite a large group that voted. I truly appreciate the support and the confidence that the citizens have put into me, and it truly is an honor to represent this city. There's nothing more than I love than Salem, and being in Salem and making it better is just a perk of being a resident here. I'm sure you have your uglies, but you do have your goods too, and I'm the type of person that anytime I get a negative, I at least try to pull 5 positives out of it, and that's what I do very often in my work life and in personal life. So it's a rule in my house. You can ask my 9-year-old nephew. He comes home and says school stinks. He has to give me 5 positives. So it's just a perk that I do. I want to thank the construction crew. I got pictures, I got praises from Mrs. Davis over on Carty Street. She's had a pretty bad curbing issue over there for at least as long as I've been in office, which is going on 4 years. August will be 4, but, anyway, it has been an issue over there. We were able to find the leak, diagnose it, thanks to Chief Chase and his time as a city administrator. He does not want city administrator, public works director. It was awesome. She sent me a whole lot of pictures of just how respectful our construction crew was while they were there. They asked any time before they had to do any kind of drilling or loud noises if it was a good time to do that. She really appreciated that, and she said that the curbing looks phenomenal and they're very excited to start landscaping this spring. So if you can pass that message on to the construction crew, please. She was very appreciative of them. Chief Chase and I have talked this week. I've had a few residents reach out to me about the intersection by McDonald's. He is reaching out to MoDOT and to the developers there to be able to see what can be done. We understand that that has become an issue there, but one thing that would be very helpful is if we use the proper lanes and we didn't try avoiding the traffic jams. What is happening is people are trying to avoid the line of traffic late in the evening, early in the mornings, to go around that and go into the right section to turn right on 19 South, or 19 North, I apologize, and somebody's coming out of McDonald's and they're colliding, or they're trying to turn left into McDonald's instead of going left on 19 South, and that's causing an issue because now we have a traffic jam. So we are in the works, well, not we, I am just really cheering on Chief Chase. He's doing all the footwork on that and the communications, but we are trying to find a solution to that. So please be patient with us. We are working on that, but also citizens, if we can use the proper lanes when turning and driving in that intersection, be more aware, that would be really helpful in that time frame. Community involvement met. I feel like it was a very successful committee meeting. We had fun. Did you speaking? Somebody speak? Sorry. We had a very successful meeting. I have a whole page front and back of notes. We actually have, as you heard, several people on that committee. We went from having one person, which was Miss Roma Jones. She has been a champion with me through this. She's been my only committee member that showed up. So what I did was wipe that committee free for a long time. I've only had, I think, 5 people, and now we are up there. We have a lot of numbers. They all showed up last week. We had a committee, a quorum, so we were able to do some stuff. We are discussing fireworks. I have tasked a few responsibilities on the committee members to come back. We meet Thursday at 5:30 in this room. So we pull up the contract. They all have the responsibility to look over that, see what we can and cannot do. We are trying to come up with options to be able to have the fireworks. So very excited about that. It's one of my favorite holidays. And not only that committee, I'm very excited for because it is going, my main purpose, our main purpose behind that is to bring life back to the heart of Salem. That's our downtown. Bring people there, bring tradition back to Salem, have fun events, and it's exactly what the committee is labeled as community involvement. Getting all of us involved, bringing us back together as whole, as one, because ultimately that's what we are. It's not what Miss Patty's doing or Sherry's doing or Trina's doing, it's the city of Salem. So when we have a problem, it's the city of Salem. And so ultimately, that's our goal, is to just start getting citizens more involved, whether it's picking up something after a big event at the park or downtown, beautifying it, making it great to attend and be a part of. Downtown is just such a beautiful piece, and why not attract people from all around to attend and do something? So I'll go over a couple of things that they want to bring back. It's just a downtown event, the fireworks, different soapbox races. I had a whole lesson on that because I wasn't aware of what that was, so I learned all about that. So there's a lot of things in store. If you are interested in attending those meetings, even though at this time I'm not looking for any more committee members, doesn't mean that if you have great ideas and you're a participant and you want to be involved and plugged in and do great things, that I can't make a spot open for you. But don't feel led to have to, don't feel obligated to be a part of that committee. Even though you're not on a committee or a board, you're still heard. We still respect your opinion. And half of the people that showed up that day, Sally was there, was not on the committee, but they all had fantastic ideas, and it's on my paper. So I just want to thank everybody that showed up to that, and I do want to send out a reminder to committee members and also all of you that there is a committee member meeting on Thursday, 5:30 here, and we'd be excited to have you. And that's all I have. And I think that was under 3 minutes.
I think that was impressive.
And we could hear.
I'm just loud. It's
I'm
a
sorry,
blessing and a
Trey.
curse.
Next up, Alderman Boyd.
Just a few things. First, I just want to thank those that exercised their right to vote last week. Had an excellent turnout compared to years past. I think it's nearly 24% voter turnout compared to 13% last year. So improvement there. I want to thank Alderman Williams for his service to the board and the community the past couple of years, and also want to welcome Alderwoman Dent to the board and welcome back. And the next couple of months is going to be busy as we're in the budget process for the next fiscal year. That starts July 1, so you can expect a lot of committee meetings between now and the end of June. So we'll announce those meeting dates as they become available and go from there. That's all I have.
All right. Thank you, Sean. Alderwoman Dent.
I have nothing to report.
Thank you, Catherine.
Alderman Whalen.
Nothing at this time, just welcome Catherine to the board, her expertise, longtime resident. Kyle, thank you so much. He booked? Okay, his continued service, you know, he, everything, as he likes to say, he goes down the rabbit hole. Just wanted to thank him for his support, his continued support.
Yep. But continue to serve too. I won't let him get too far from us. Well, tonight, before I go into closed session for personnel and contracts, I'd like to just take a time out at the end of our meeting tonight to thank all of our city staff. Each one of you are valued more than you'll ever know. For us as city representatives, we're here to address the public concerns. To our city staff, these are the folks right here in this room or outside of this room that do the legwork. They do the real work. And I want them to be, each and every one of you, to be recognized. It does not go unappreciated.
No.
I just don't want to see you working on weekends. Right? At this time then, I will move ask for a motion to go into closed session for personnel and contracts.
I'd move to into closed session for personnel and contracts.
Second.
A second.
I will call for the vote. Alderwoman Cisco.
Yes.
Alderwoman Dent.
Yes.
Alderman Whalen.
Yes.
And Alderman Boyd.
Yes.
Thank you all.